What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with AltCoin Buzz. So we're going to talk about markets and how to identify high caliber coins and solid investments opposed to hokey investments or things that maybe aren't so uh, ready for what they're trying to endeavor and the funds that they're looking to receive, and maybe they're not even worthy of receiving the funds, especially if they can't even put out the proper information. The proper information being a white paper, having a website that actually functions and works, having deliverables on the roadmap, staying active on the project, keeping the community informed on Twitter and in other areas on their Discords or their Telegrams. And so I'm going to go over an example of a mid-cap project that appears to be doing the correct things to get investors' confidence. Now, before we get into this, I want to talk about some of the stuff that we talked about earlier on our Twitter. Will you hold for the long haul, or do you feel like you might get weak hands in a sea of red? 90% of you are saying that you're going to hold for the long haul. There's been 3,500 votes so far. If you want to come check out the results and the comments that are going on, this was posted 1 hour ago. You can follow us at AltCoinBuzz.io, AltCoinBuzz.io on Twitter. Another question we asked, do you get the feeling the market is due for a run soon? 67% get a feeling that the bull run coming, more stagnation. Now, when I suggest this, I'm saying, do you believe that the market still is going to be growing here shortly? Shortly could mean anywhere between a couple weeks to a month. Remember, in cryptocurrency, a month can feel like 6 months. 3 months can feel like a full year, kind of idea like that. Especially because there's so much action in the market. What occurs can sometimes feel like a long time condensed, right? So some of you guys might be new to the market and you feel like you've already been doing this for so long because there's been so much action and volatility in the market that it might actually feel that way. So when we consolidate and the market consolidates, everyone kind of gets a slice of humble pie. And when the market goes green and everyone's rolling, feeling, I guess the word that's tossed around most commonly is feeling greedy. When people start seeing a lot of green, they get greedy. I think it's just human nature. When things go red, they get panicked, right? They start to question everything that's going on in their life. And I think overall, it's healthy for us as life lessons, just in general, to be patient. I mean, if you just look at being a business person, for example, in every business that I've ever built, and I've built several of them, I remember I would go through so many hard times with it. Well, I guess you call them hard times, but it's a matter of perspective. As I've gotten older, I now don't look at them as hard times. I just look at it as like the process. So because I don't look at it as hard times, I overcome it a lot faster. But it's still, there's still going to be curveballs, and you still got to learn to hit the curveball. You still got to learn to cope with the trials and the tribulations that you might face in life, whether it be with the market or just your general overview in life. I'm not trying to go too much into life coaching here, but the point is, yes, there is a great deal of advice. There is a great deal to learn from this experience with the market when it goes up and when it goes down. Okay, so if you kind of stick to the same principles, you be patient, you hold, you don't get overly greedy, you don't get overly panicked, you just kind of maintain a balance. You don't want to go 60-40, too much more than 60-40 or 70-30, although sometimes we like to run the gauntlet, I guess you could say. And I will be the first to admit that sometimes I will find a coin like Rimbit and I will put in a small fraction of my profits into Rimbit. Now that's just how I do it. I would say that it would not be a bad idea if you guys did not actually do it that way, but that's just what I like to do. Is I like to throw like $30 into something like Rimbit, even though I don't see a white paper, etc. Now, I'm going to highly advise that you don't do that unless you're prepared to accept losing all of your money in a case like that. Now, that leads me right into the next point that I'm going to make, and that's about a coin called Dragonchain. Dragonchain has done a great job of following being an example of a cryptocurrency worth investing in and taking out a position on due to the fact that they have shown that they have a roadmap, they have a white paper, and it goes into detail about what they're looking to do, right? So, without further ado, we're going to look at number 45, Dragonchain. $808 million market cap, currently down 18%. So even solid coins like this are still going to take hits in markets in corrections like this. So, Dragonchain, here you see it. It had a nice steady rise, but it's consolidating and correcting. Coins don't always just go up, 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 up. As much as we all want them to, they don't do that. Now, Dragonchain. Let's take a look at the website. Blockchain Business Magic. Be a part of the most secure, flexible, and business-ready blockchain platform and ecosystem. This is a token built on the Ethereum blockchain. You can pick it up on KuCoin, Coin Exchange, EtherDelta, Gate.io. It's on many different exchanges. And one of the things that I'm looking for when I come to this website is at the top, do they have a white paper? If they try to hide the white paper, that is usually a concern. If they try to hide the team, that is usually a concern. So I am looking for these two things at the top or easily discoverable right away to indicate that they're being transparent and that they're looking to be to give you the proper information as an investor. Do I invest in projects that don't have white papers or teams readily available? Me personally, I have been known to do that, and sometimes I do take that. But always, if I do that, I have to realize that that is a more of a speculative gamble. And usually in cases like that, sometimes you can find yourself in a situation with big gains, and that's kind of what can happen. But you can also find yourself losing out in a pump and dump kind of scenario if they don't have that. So I'm giving you guys the indicators to be on the lookout for, especially if you're a conservative type. So you need to see the white paper and you want to see the team. Okay? So you can see they have transparency here. This project has transparency. Their CEO, he talks to you guys, he communicates, he's left his LinkedIn there, right? You have the white paper. You click on the white paper. You can see the background. Dragonchain was originally developed at Disney Seattle's office in 2015 and 2016 as the Disney private blockchain platform. Over 20 use cases and applications. So they're going into this. And then I'm going to go through here and I'm going to, I skim read. I don't necessarily read the whole thing thoroughly, but I do skim read it. And one of the things that I found in skim reading it was this area where I wanted to bring this up, the utility. I like to know what the utility of the project is, and they had this section here properly labeled, so that to me was correct because that's how my brain is programmed to think about what is your utility. Dragons will be used by developers and organizations to interact with the Dragonchain commercial platform products and services, launch nodes, provision smart contracts, access incubator dashboard. As a tokenized license with value in utility services, the tokens will further allow individuals or organizations to be rewarded in an open market for running public or private nodes for network consensus. Okay. Dragons will be used to support projects in the Dragon Fund Incubator. They will provide early access to technology and data from the projects, as well as allow first access to purchase tokens for the use of developed platforms. For the Dragonchain Foundation, the maintainer of the Dragonchain open source code, Dragons will be used to reward and incentivize developers contributing to the open source project and related projects. The tokens will be used to increase adoption in the developer community with rewards and training. Community members will be able to contribute on issues and designs and reward active participation in the development of important functionality anywhere in the world. Now, right below that, you have the team section. Yet again, the transparency that we're seeing. So you can see how the Dragonchain works. Platform, incubator, ecosystem. Look at this incubator that they keep talking. In-house and partner concepts, token ownership. Platform, commercial, transaction and support fees. So you can see how they're kind of detailing it. the ecosystem, standardized processes, community funding via Dragon tokens, partner network, analyst, token model, etc. Access to ecosystem smart contract libraries, grant and funding for seed stage projects. So that's kind of good. They're going to help encourage other startups using the Dragonchain, as even though Dragonchain is built on the Ethereum blockchain as an ERC20 token, they're still going to be assisting other projects follow in their footsteps. Dashboard visibility for marketplace, professional services. So you can see it's very bland to read this, and it does get extensive, but that's why I recommend skim reading it at the very least. Solution and business focus. All right. So the next thing that we're going to look at here is going to be the roadmap. So we need to see this roadmap. They've laid it out. Core funding, $10 million roadmap. October 2017, they go over all that. Now, here we are, January 2017. Smart contract protocols and APIs, common API for all supported languages. Launch third-party incubator pre-sale, ICO pre-sale. All right, so that's happening now, right? Dragonchain Foundation Developer Academy pilot program, smart contract development workshops and program and training. So if we go to their social media, for example, we go to their Twitter, we should see them talking about some of this stuff that is going on with the roadmap, right? So there should be related communication talking about what their roadmap is. If their roadmap is saying they're going to do something, they should be keeping the community engaged in that. So as you can see, Dragonchain Incubator application form pinned to the top. Dragonchain account KYC improvement survey. So you can see here, she's saying, okay, so welcome our new CFO, Catherine Linehan. We are so lucky to have a former Idea Village CFO, Goldman Sachs, and assistant professor at Loyola joining our executive team, plus a community. Okay, so they're letting you know they've got a new team member. They're letting you know her credentials. All right, here we go. Third phase of Dragon's whitelist application. Round is now on. Get verified for participation in all Dragonchain Incubator ICOs. So if we go back to the roadmap, you can see that they're executing on that part of the roadmap. So if you are looking at a project and you want to see if they're just putting out a roadmap for lack of I guess you could say SHIT and giggles, but you get the point. If they're just putting it out there just to look cool, then that means they're kind of like wishy-washy. They're not really to be taken serious. But Dragonchain, because they say it on their roadmap and then they're communicating it to their investors, that shows the transparency and that they're communicating and they're executing on their roadmap that they say, so they're sticking to the plan, right? And that's the kind of stuff you might be wanting to look for. Also, it was mentioned in an email that came in. Somebody said, you know, are they getting patents? Are they getting the proper legal framework in place for their project? You know, and these are kind of things that you want to be on the lookout for also. Do they own the proprietary software or whatever the case may be? But there should be this roadmap that aligns with the public information and what they're telling the public, and it should stay, here you go, even what we're talking about right now. With cryptocurrency, buy the substance, sell the hype, okay? So when you see that there's solid projects in place, and I'm going to follow these guys, I just realized I'm not even following them. Dragonchain Gang. All right. You also want to see that they have this work center, right? I mean, it's easy to take fake pictures of a work center, but you can tell this is a real working environment. They're actually showing up to work and they're working. Now, someone could have said, hey, are you guys working? Or this person could have taken this picture and just been like, quick cell phone picture just to show you guys that we're real. But, you know, you have to, these can be obviously staged and stuff, but obviously this isn't a staged image. I mean, I'm almost 99% certain this is a real image because you can see just in the details that are here that there's active work being done here, unless someone's on Facebook playing around. Maybe they're a social media manager or something, right? But it's that kind of stuff that I'm usually looking for to see that they're on the grind, that they're working, and that they're not just putting out a roadmap and then forgetting they had a roadmap and then just hyping things up. And we saw that kind of with some coins recently where their CEO might be just kind of hyping things and not necessarily talking about the substance of the project. So it's really important that you as an investor, as a responsible investor, because you don't have to be a responsible investor, but this is how you be a responsible investor, is to understand how they're communicating with the community. I'm going to follow KuCoin also. Might as well follow QuantStamp. Geez, there's so many coins. Might as well follow these guys. Just when I thought I had them all, I don't. Anyways, oh yeah, you can also follow us, AltCoin But you can see how Twitter is the place to be, because you got to stay up to date with these guys, and they got to stay up to date with you and keep you in the loop. And it needs to be more than just hype. It needs to be substance. Like they're even saying on their Twitter, you know, with cryptocurrency, buy the substance, sell the hype. So it's just really important that you go over all these things. So on their website, you need to see the team, the white paper, the roadmap. There should be some additional information on the website that's readily available. Unlike existing platforms, with Dragonchain, you retain complete control of your data. Sensitive business logic and smart contract functionality is kept proprietary. So you can even see the timeline, kind of the general timeline, and then they take you to the roadmap where it shows that they're working, they're staying the course kind of thing here. So global reach. Dragonchain is proudly built in Seattle, one of the most developed technology hubs in the world. Here's where they're located, in Bellevue, right close to Microsoft, T-Mobile, even Bittrex is nearby. So this is kind of becoming, Bellevue area is becoming the kind of a little bit of a hub in the United States for blockchain. You have Amazon over here, you have Zillow, Boeing, Starbucks, but Dragonchain being right there next to Bittrex is interesting. It's also interesting to say that Dragonchain is not on Bittrex, at least last I heard, right? Yeah, it's funny. They're next to Bittrex, but they're not on Bittrex. You'd think they'd go to lunch or something and work something out. But anyways, guys, this is kind of an example of what to look for when you're looking for a solid project. You're looking for the transparency, the white paper, and all that to go along with the team being in place, showing that they're working. So this is just a real quick video on some of the things to look out for to be a responsible investor. We'll see you guys next time. You can subscribe to this channel if you like. If you like videos like this, you can click the bell to get notified, and we'll see you next time.